No, but so why hasn't this been fixed? Joining us is Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, you just heard what David had to say. It didn't leave much wiggle room. He said 100%, and it's even easy to hack.
That was very disturbing. And equally disturbing is the fact that Washington Democrats are doing nothing about it. 4 years ago, when Obamacare was being debated, possibly reasonable minds could have differed. Maybe some people thought this thing might work, it might be secure. At this point, it is a disaster. You've got over 4.7 million people who've lost their health insurance plans already. Senate Democrats, Harry Reid, what are they doing about it? Absolutely nothing. You've got premiums skyrocketing across the country, especially young people. Young people are getting killed by this. Senate Democrats, Harry Reid, what are they doing? Absolutely nothing. These security issues, which obviously opens the door to identity theft and all sorts of personal intrusions. What are Senate Democrats doing? Absolutely nothing.
Well, what's even more disturbing, though, is that David said it's gotten worse since November when they all said it was horrible. He says that he wouldn't sign up, and it's 100% insecure. I mean, what in the world? I mean, it must be stunning to Democrats, Republicans, everybody.
The definition of pragmatism is looking at the facts, looking at what's actually happening, and then responding to them. The definition of irresponsibility is sticking your head in the sand and ignoring the facts, and what Senate Democrats are doing. So today on the floor of the Senate, I tried to call up 2 amendments to respond to the disaster that is Obamacare, and Senate Democrats blocked it. They don't want to do anything. We went state by state. I went through the numbers of in Nevada, in North Carolina, in Arkansas, in Louisiana, of all the people who've had their insurance canceled, all the people whose premiums are skyrocketing. And the answer from Senate Democrats is, we're going to do nothing. At this point, it's the height of pragmatism to acknowledge this thing isn't working, we need to start over.
What about the Republicans? What are your colleagues saying? Because I know there's been a lot of pushback on you with this defunding of Obamacare. I mean, there's no secret that you've been at loggerheads with some of your Republican colleagues. What are the Republicans saying to you?
Well, look, the fact that millions of Americans rose up last year in the fight to defund Obamacare, the fact that we stood up and fought, I think the proof's in the pudding. Right now, Barack Obama is at the lowest approval rating he's ever been. Right now, Obamacare is at its lowest approval rating it's ever been. Right now, Obamacare is plummeting in popularity with young people. It's plummeting in popularity with Hispanics. It's plummeting in popularity with independents. It's even plummeting among Democrats, because the facts are undeniable, it isn't working.
But so why are you sort of the odd man out? I mean, if that's true, I mean, if everybody sort of look at the numbers, I mean, I can understand the Democrats because you're as opposing party, but why are the Republicans not, circling the wagons around you?
Well, look, Washington is a town that doesn't like change, and I don't think anyone should be surprised if you're trying to change the Washington establishment. They're going to fight back. I mean, that certainly wasn't a surprise to me. And it shouldn't be a surprise to the American people, is that elected officials don't like being held accountable. But right now, there's one simple fact that's undeniable. The people blocking any relief for the millions of people being hurt by Obamacare are Harry Reid and the Senate Democrats. And they're simply ignoring the people. They're not listening. They have no solution, no answer other than tough luck.
Well, there's several issues. Whether you're going to get medical care, whether you get to keep your insurance, whether the website is working or not, and whether or not the information put on it is secure or not. This is, I mean, the news today, which is, I mean, 100% insecure is, I mean, it wasn't 99 or 95 or 97, it's 100% and gotten worse is, and it wasn't just David, there were other experts there.
No, that's exactly right. And you know what? You don't see those hearings in the Senate. The Senate Democrats are not even inquiring about issues like security. The House is, but the Senate Democrats...
What is this, Senator Harry Reid? Doesn't mean, is this a totally a political calculation?
It is pure partisan politics. Harry Reid cracks the whip, and every Democrat, they're like lemmings off a cliff, where they're telling... Look, I don't know. I can't imagine what it's like for the Democrats when they go home. You take California. Bright blue California. 1.1 million people in California have had their insurance canceled because of Obamacare, and yet California senators are doing nothing about it. And their response, it's all partisan politics. The responsible thing to do is listen to the people who are being hurt and do something about it.
Well, if there's going to be a price increase, that's going to come after the 2014 election.
Well, but a lot of people have had price increases already.
But I mean, the one that, if enough young people don't pay in, that means the price increases are going to be dramatically higher come next year than we expected. And you know, the politicians have conveniently put that after the election, so that if people object to it, they can't respond to it. But
well,
anyway.
More price increases are coming, but a lot of people, a 27-year-old man in Texas, in the individual market, his premiums have gone up roughly 70%. That's real, and that's happening now, and it's happening all over the country. New York Times, front page of the New York Times, talks about how the middle class is getting hammered by Obamacare because premiums are going up. And on top of that, you have people losing their coverage, losing their doctors. This thing isn't working.
Senator, stay with us. We have more to talk to you about. And you can hash it out with us. Would you trust healthcare.gov not to expose your personal health and financial information or not? Tweet or post on Facebook right now using hashtag Greta. And straight ahead, what do handcuffs have to do with Obamacare? Well, apparently quite a bit. Wait until you hear who HHS is putting to work as Obamacare navigators, and we suspect you won't like this one. But next, a famous movie mogul says he's going to destroy the NRA. But get this, the big-time producers made big money making some of Hollywood's most violent films, like this one.
That's accurate.
Weinstein be accepting the biggest hypocrite of the year 2014 award. We're back with Senator Ted Cruz. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
You know, the Hollywood liberal elites, they have their view of things. I have to say that first clip, my daughters would be very dismayed to see Frosty getting shot.
Yeah, actually, no, I think we probably toned it down a tad bit because we want to show people getting their heads blown off on the air. But it's not like Harvey Weinstein is known for, for his, for cartoons.
Well, and the final clip from Kill Bill, I mean, some of one of the most epically violent scenes when Uma Thurman with a sword severs the limbs of the crazy 88, but you don't see people wanting to ban knives.
Well, you know what I don't get is like, okay, you have I can't understand why Harvey Weinstein wants to get caught being a hypocrite. I mean, this one's so obvious. This one's an easy one. I mean, like there's no sort of self-preservation on this one.
Well, the great thing is the market will take care of this, because these left-wing propaganda films that people like Weinstein like to put out, they never sell any tickets. So if he wants to lose some money preaching, and look, the hypocrisy of a rich Hollywood producer that lives in a fancy neighborhood with all sorts of police protection, and he says he doesn't own a gun, but I bet you there's a good odds that he has armed security around him.
Well, that's what I've read, that he has a private security detail.
And his answer is for the single mom who lives in the inner city, who has to ride the subway late at night, who works 2 jobs, and who has a real threat of violence. He's telling her she can't protect herself. And listen, that's not a message the American people agree with. We have a right to protect ourselves. It's protected in the Constitution. And even if liberal Hollywood types want to take it away, it isn't going anywhere.
Well, there's almost, I look at it a little bit different, like the death of sort of shame. I mean, here's a guy who doesn't even make, he's like, right now, by probably getting a lot of attention, probably getting attention here will probably help, someone's going to download one of his movies and watch it tonight because, who's Harvey Weinstein? He did Kill Bill, whatever. I mean, it's like we've now evolved so that, the more shameful thing you do, or the biggest hypocrisy you can put out there, draws you attention, and actually, in a perverse way, lines your pocket with more cash.
Well, it's the same pattern we see in Washington. It's a double standard. It's one rule for thee and one rule for me. So the liberals love to live by special rules. So Al Gore complains about people using carbon and then flies around on private jets. He consumes more carbon than entire neighborhoods, I'm willing to bet. But they want different rules for hardworking Americans than for everyone else.
I could just imagine the talk around some dinner table in Hollywood tonight as they're all sort of, as the people who make really violent and really ugly movies are talking about this. That's what what gets me.
Well, they're very happy to try to control the American people. And listen, you see the elites on both coasts that look down on the American people. They consider most of this country flyover country. And they don't, It's the same problem we see in Washington. We see it with career politicians in Washington, that they look down on their constituents as gullible rubes, and they don't listen.
Well, it would be more potent to handle violence if they didn't make it so, quote, cool. That'd be more potent and send a better message. Anyway, Senator, always nice to see you. Thank you, sir.
It's great to be with you, Greta.
Coming up, you heard HHS Secretary